First, thank you for coming. I think we've seen this movie in Venice last time, and still I'm so moving because on the end, when was music, the people were clapping for 15 minutes, and it was like one of the most important feeling in our life. And it was the first screening ever of this movie. So I have, when I hear this music, I have still this feeling from Venice. So with Agnieszka, there was no money on this project, also because of political.
But when did she start? Because the problems in this corridor between Belarus and Poland, they strengthened up maybe 3-4 years ago.
Yes, it was in 2021, and Agnieszka started to write a script with 3 people, with 2 people, and they did it in a few months, I think. And then they started to collect money, and it was like per 2 years. And then we didn't have money from Polish government institutes, which is obvious. And Agnieszka has idea to make it, because we had only 24 days, on set days, so the film is 2 hours and 20, so it was really small budget. And Agnieszka invites Kamila Tarabura to make it together. And before that, I was working with Kamila per 1 year. We were making a series for Netflix, Absolute Beginners. We had premiere like 2 weeks ago. And it works, like working together. And she proposed Agnieszka to maybe, Kamila was also before her debut, so she proposed, okay, so maybe we can make it together, like Kamila, me, and Agnieszka. So half of the days we were split, and we have the set in the same time. So it was really, really complicated and tough for, I think, whole crew. And on pre-production, we were looking for assistant who was also know the language and who is somebody who is really talented. I propose Nadim, who is from Syria, and he's also director. And Nadim was studying and now is finishing. He studied in Łódź Film School. So Nadim was our first hand, right hand, because he was acting. He was our translator and second ID. So how it started. And then it was really quick time because we finished, I think, in the end of the April, the shooting. And on September we have premiere in Venice, so it was really a short time to make everything together.
But when Agnieszka talked to you, she had already written the script, and
yes.
she gave it for you to read.
Yes, the script was done 2 years ago. So she collected money a long time because of the subject is risky, I think, for people. So this movie is co-production with Czech, Belgium, France, and we had a Polish producer and a producer from US. So on the set we have a lot of people from all the world, not only actors but also first ID was from Czech. Sound designer was from France, so it was like Babel Tower, many languages, and it was complicated, but really.
How did she cast? Because this is quasi-documentary in a way, but and it's something it's a blinking drama because this deals with things that are really tough.
With Polish actors, it was really easy for Agnieszka because main character Maja Ostaszewska, she's really involved in this subject. So she is working in the forest, and she's really famous actress in Poland. So, and we had more actors who are activists in real life. So they were also our experts sometimes. With our Syrian family, we had a casting director in Belgium, and it was a casting, but maybe you can say something more about Syrian actors because you know more about that, because we know that some of them are really famous in Syria, and when we had a meeting before the shooting, like 2 weeks ago, before shooting, they came. I realized that this is not a written story. It's their experience. Was also really like in the movie. So maybe Nadim can say something more about them.
I actually would start with the fact that how I got in the movie, because I remember in 2021 when the crisis started, we got to know that there's no way to help people. The borders got shut like you saw in the movie, and there were only 2-3 organizations that were also involved in making this movie that were actually helping people on the borders. And I was for some time, I volunteered to translate. That was a very actually strong experience, and I can tell from what I translated that most of what has been on the screen is based actually on very real stories. And I remember the powerlessness that I've been feeling because it was illegal. It still is illegal to help people there. It's you can get 8 years of jail for driving someone by car or letting someone sleep over for one night. And I remember that it completely destroyed me to know that I couldn't do nothing to these people but to translate, because I was the translator, to translate the bad news that you are fucked, you have nothing to do here, no one is going to help you, you cannot go either to Europe nor back. And I was for a long time trying to find a way to actually do something that could help those people, and it was impossible for a long time. I also discovered that documentaries is not the way to make it. And suddenly showed up this, I heard about this news that Agnieszka is making a movie. And by the way, she made this movie so fast that it came out before any other documentary that is being shot about all of these situations on the border. And I personally don't believe in the power of documentary anymore. I'm anti-documentary, especially character-driven. So this movie came. I don't know also how much you got to know about it, but it evoked a huge controversy in Poland. It was so big that the Prime Minister, the President, the Minister of Justice, the President of the ruling party, they have all publicly attacked Agnieszka, compared her to Nazi propaganda ministers. She got death threats. Actors who were very known got death threats. I lost a job at the Polish national TV because of this movie, and it finally reached the moment that the elections happened a few months after, or 1 month after the premiere.
Yeah. On the end, Agnieszka has security because of the.
But Agnieszka herself, she had to flee from Poland many years ago. She was a refugee too. And
yes,
her grandparents were victims of the Holocaust.
Yes, that was the funniest for us, like why they are comparing her to Nazi. And it was in the same time we were in Venice, And I spent like whole day with her, with journalists, and one of them asked like, "You are not afraid about that somebody will kill you?" And then she said, "You know, Kasia is from the city Gdańsk, and one guy killed the president of the city because of he was really impressed by national television, and it was like really bad situation." And then I realized, oh, it can be, it is possible. And then 2 or 3 weeks ago, later, was a premiere in Poland, and we wanted really like protect Agnieszka because it's
the film. When did the film premiere in Poland?
1 month, I think, after premiere in Venice. So it was like, I don't know.
I think it was 20th of September.
And what's the response of the moviegoers?
Okay, so President of Poland, Andrzej Duda, said, I don't know.
And he didn't even saw. He didn't
Yeah,
even see the
he
film
said
yet.
that he don't want to spend money for that. So many people sent him a lot of tickets for the screening, and he said. It was the words from the Second War about collaborators, like only pigs are in the cinema, and he said something like that, and it was comparing to Nazi. So people were mad, and they decided to go to the cinema to prove. Sometimes some of them were with the mask of the pigs, just for fun. And the office box was like 750,000 people. So after the COVID, it was quite good. And then were elections, and it's better. I think the hate developed so much that people were really mad.
Yeah, but there's so we feel there's a tension there, and it's not only. So there are people are afraid. So in the film we see this friend of her that she brings the car, and then she understands what the car will be used for, and she says no. People do, and so but on the opposite, on the other hand, we have people like this family that welcomes and hosts 3 boys in their house. So, and how does it go? Is this tension still going? This hasn't weakened, or it's still the same these days?
You know, now on this Polish-Belarusian border is a wall, but still people are dying.
With barbed wire.
No, it's the wire, yes, but it's a wall. But this wall, it's constructed by aluminum, something like that, so you can cut it also. And there are a lot of cameras, but still people going through it. And 2 weeks ago, somebody shot a guy he was from Syria. But people still are dying, and people still are helping. So if you wanna support, Grupa Granica has their own website, and you can send them money because it's still really independent. And I don't know. It's still going on. Like some of people from Grupa Granica are really tired because it's really.
No, and the activists, they put their own lives at risk.
Yes, yes. Now it's on this history. There in this period, it was a closed area. Now it's open. But still, like 100 meters near the border, you can go in. But it is still going on. But 2 weeks ago, Agnieszka was in Brussels, in European Parliament, and I don't know. I think that people will start to talk about that pushbacks are illegal because it is illegal. And now in Poland, the government changed, so we met some people who stopped to work in border guard, border guard, because they believe that it will be one time. It will be the time when somebody will pay for that, because it's against the European law. So I don't know.
And there's even, but it's not so. In Poland, it's worse, and we see this. But there is a law that we Europeans should welcome refugees, because European is also made by many refugees.
Yes.
So the governments, they don't, most of them, they don't, that law, they try to forget it, and that's why I remember once Vanessa Redgrave, she made a movie about refugees from those who are in Calais to go to England, and she said that the English government called them migrants, never refugees, just to flee from not being obliged to apply that, to put that law that still exists.
But you know, it changed in 2021 because this movie, we had a lot of talks with many people from the border activists, but also people who are living there, and they said that before, when somebody like border guards catch refugees, they send them by plane or by car to Belarus. But now, from this time, it changes, and they use the force, and you know.
And then we see in the epilogue of the film the difference of treatment the refugees from the Ukrainian war had, because they are white and blue-eyed, and the others aren't.
That was true. It was.
I mean, it's also worth noticing that this is not only about Poland, right?
Yeah,
it's,
I wanna say that
it's all
when
about
when we were in Venice. Okay, so when we were in Venice, whole Poland said that they were angry because it was about bad Polish people, but nobody in Venice said that it's an issue of Poland. It's issue of Europe. And that was like, it was, people started to discuss about, because it will be developed in Europe, and we have to find some solution, and it's not only our problem.
Oh yes, of course, tonight we will see another film, Io Capitano, by Matteo Garroni, that was in Venice too, about the two boys and so many, the people that crossed the Mediterranean to arrive in Europe, and many of them die in the boats under very, very bad conditions. We can open up to the audience. Is there a microphone?
Hello. I wanted to hear a little bit more about what you, I don't remember your name, sorry, what you said about you stopped believing in the power of the documentary. Because this is one of the things that you see in the movie, is that everybody is shooting what the guards are doing. Everybody kind of knows where the people are, and the news actually travel fast. But what we see happening doesn't have an impact on anyone. And as I was seeing the movie, my first reaction was like, I mean, come on, this treatment is so brutal, and if something like this would have come out, we would be completely shocked. But as you talked about the power of the documentary not having any power, I think that I would want to hear about what do you think about that.
I believe in the power of documentary, so it was his opinion.
Yes, yes. Yeah. I speak only for me and for me only.
No, of course. But I would love to hear your opinion.
Well, you know, at the beginning, as a volunteer on the borders, I got involved with the many elite documentary filmmakers from Poland decided to unite and make one collective movie. That the goal was to publish it as soon as possible, to give the voice to the people who are voiceless and to make a change. I got also involved in it, and that was a life-changing experience because they were all the biggest names of documentary cinema in Poland. And guess what happens? At some point, each of the documentary filmmakers decides to make his own movie, and they start to make a fight about whose protagonist is this. It turned out that so far none of them finished their film, and I found myself also on a position that I was aware of the procedure. I was aware of how this situation was looking from the point of view of the refugees. These people didn't want to disclose their identities, they didn't want to disclose their names, their fates were unknown, they didn't know where are they going to reach, and this is very important to keep everything classified, basically. And what happened is that I was just running around from one documentalist account, Facebook account to another, to continuously double-check, are they publishing someone's name, someone's photos, someone's details that they can be identified upon later on. And I think this was one of the most jeopardizing of their own safety, the fact that their personal details were coming across. Like, you know, some people were running away from different situations. Some of them were running away from ISIS, someone was running away from Syrian regime or another regime, so they had to remain classified for their own safety, and this is something that documentalists very often screw up. I've also been like watching a lot of documentaries as well from Syria, and I must say that the rule of the protagonist's safety was not so often taken in consideration, and this is something that can go out of your control as a filmmaker at some point. Some protagonists say, my face should be blurred at every show of the movie, and then the movie is being shown on one of the biggest TVs, and the face is not blurred, and the guy is like, we don't know where he is right now, right? So I think it's not worth jeopardizing someone's safety to make a movie that at the end of the day, I don't know how much it would change, because looking at this example, which is a fiction film, it came out faster than any other documentary, and I could say that it did influence the election in Poland, maybe in some point, right? So, yeah, that's what I believe.
But we have to say that after Venice, we have a screening in Toronto, and in the same time, it was a premiere of a documentary of Kasia Smutniak. She's a Polish actress, but living in and really famous in Italy. And she made a documentary about the wall between the Polish and Belarus, and it was the proof. They were comparing our movies, and it was nice, like something extra for this movie.
Sometimes fiction can be nearer to the truth than...
Yeah, and we have to say that all of those situations, like maybe not all, but are inspired by something that happened.
I guess so. You came after Agnieszka had written the script, but she made she made it with people that were activists, and you this place very
and
well.
that I learned a lot from her about research, because she made a huge research, and even when we were on the set, she was calling to somebody and asked, "Are you sure that it was like?" Yeah, it was like this. So
and did she change a lot on set, or you went?
Because I think that the most changes that happened were regarding the Syrian family part, because the three writers of the film were Polish, so when we all read the scripts, I mean as Syrians, we had the feeling that the Polish characters are very, very vibrant and realistic, but the Syrian ones had some deficit, so
some nuances
that were missing,
culture.
that it's hard to know, not being a Syrian. So we actually changed this part in the 2 weeks prior to the shooting, mainly with the efforts of all the actors, of course, who they put a lot of their own personal also experience, because Mohammed and Jalal, they are both refugees now. Jalal is a citizen of France, but they've been through it firsthand. So they have contributed a lot to their own characters, making them, and also the kids, by the way, they have also come through the.
Yeah, they had pushbacks between Syrian and Turkey border many times. So, of course, for us it was risky, but we spent time with psychologists, and they decided that they are ready. So it was really.
Did you ever feel in danger during the shooting?
So we had some guests on the set one time, because we were shooting. We know that it can be risky, so we decided to not shoot in forest, government forest, like national forest. So we were shooting. We were prepared for that. So we were shooting in private forests. But we have some guests who were, we had to stop for some minutes to call the police.
First of all, I want to thank you for this voice. There's, I don't know if you remember the blonde guy that was played by Maciej Sztul, that said that he cannot like live in this country. He like he cannot like think all the ways of to living there. And this kind of what happened during this border, it came me as well. This one of the that I'm here, that I'm living here in Portugal, not Poland, but still there is a lot of people which are helping, and as well as we said, it's not only the Polish, and it's around the world. It's not only European. It's between US and Mexico, between all the Latin America. So yeah, it's really fucked up situation when you are so close. And some of my friends was helping with the borders and the crisis from Ukraine, and that I saw so many like good human beings, but the government was not like helping, and really right now on March you will have government election, so please consciously vote, because 8 years ago Poland wasn't like that, was much more open, and like only like 8 years with the idiots can like decide that this was the period that I cannot like feel like that I'm from Poland, because I didn't feel that I belong to that. So thank you, Kasia, for this voice, and really appreciate it, because it's kind of what I was feeling.
You know, it was risky, because when we close the credits, Agnieszka asked that, "Hey, but you know, you're before your debut, and maybe you will not have money from Polish Film Institute," but we decided to put it like, fuck it.
Yeah, and when you see the news in national television, and when you see like minister, which showing the movies about immigrants, and it was like prefabricated and made from around the internet, and you see like really in normal prime time, they showing you and the guys which raping the cows and goats, and they saying this is the immigrants.
Yeah, we have to say that this scene with the how it called Holland.
Slavik Holland?
Yes. Who was
he was the leader of the border guards group.
When he's talking about that they are
zoophilia.
It is a truth. Like somebody from the government said that, and it was the special event for saying that they are dangerous.
Yeah, it was press conference. It was totally press conference, and they were showing on big screen, like half size of that someone like rape a cow and goat, and this will happen when you get the migrants to Poland. So like a lot of people was scared, and this was the like politics government shit which were the building the election. So hopefully, and finger crossed for new government, it's like almost 1 month, but still they cannot go to government because the old government blocking. But yeah, finger crossed that will be okay, and thank you all the day. Todos os dias that I can be here because I'm immigrant now. so yeah, thank you very much. Muito obrigado.
I'm from Poland also, sorry. We are taking the questions here. So thank you very much for this movie as well. I was wondering if you had some information from the Grupa Granica that you've been working with or other activists about. So we've been just talking about the elections and the party actually lost them. They are still trying to kind of push being in power, but we are at first week of this new government. Is there any push already on this situation changing with the change to government and the situation, political situation in Poland? Are the activists working, to put that on the agenda so it ends? Because as understood, the situation continues, right? We are still in the same kind of situation on the border. As
yes, but as I said, like 2 or 1 week ago, they start to shoot, and he's in the hospital now, but he has a bull in the spine. So it was the first time that we had information that they start to shoot. So I don't know how it will happen.
I mean, it's worth also noticing that, well, like I said, first of all, it's not only about Poland, right? In Lampedusa, in Greece, in Spain, in England, in so many places this is happening. And I would like also to draw your attention to the fact that we often speak about it as only helping refugees. I look at it as more of an historical obligation, right? Because, for example, when we speak about Poland, it's worth remembering that in 2003, Polish army was one of the 4 armies that invaded Iraq, right? Evoked a war that killed over 1 million people. Then it was also taking part in the war in Afghanistan. Many different stories of brutality of what happened there. We can know about it. So I think it's very worth looking at this as an obligation when Europe is constantly destabilizing the Middle East and any other countries, right? And then, of course, people will run away, and they will have to run away somewhere. And I do oppose the fact that we often, this whole situation is actually very often used to put a point only on the right wing. But it was the left wing who started the war on Iraq, it was the left wing who started the war in Afghanistan, and it was the left wing who started the war on Libya. So it's, I think it's a little bit beyond that, and it's very much important to remember that till the moment Europe NATO, USA are destabilizing other countries, the refugees will be floating, disasters, human disasters will be coming more and more. And I really look at it in this way, that it's not only a matter of accepting these people and giving them a safe haven, but also stop evoking next wars, right? Like whatever we saw the border guard leader saying about human animals, we hear it now in context of Gaza as well. I think it's about just putting a line to wars, and it's about showing out that wherever war is going to start, a human tragedy will start again, and people will have to run away.
Because this situation is very traumatizing. These people are fleeing from wars, etc. And then when they arrive to that corridor, to that border, they suffer the same. They are suffering it twice.
And it's also worth knowing that it's a part of a political game, because, like I translated on the screen, Putin and Lukashenko are using it as a weapon to pressure on the European Union. So, okay, but still, it doesn't mean that these people have to be treated as, like, they call them bullets. They are not humans, they are human bullets, right? So I think it's about just stop engaging and stop messing up with other countries. As simple as that.
We still have time for a final question.
Yeah, thank you so much. I'm going to pass the mic, of course. Just wanted to add to that, long list of stop messing with climate change as well as causing migration. So we will be having, and in the States they have climate change migrations as well. So thank you.
For me, I feel like anything I can do is not enough. So what you said the organization before, but what I can do more than trying to follow the politicians that try to help this, and how can I do more than, well, I could, but I won't go to the border and do the acting part, but what else can I do to help the situation the best way possible?
I think, I don't know when in cinemas we'll have a distribution, in Portugal.
We will release the film at the beginning of next year.
So you can invite your friends to this movie first.
Yeah, I will do that part.
But I think on Grupa Granica there is a lot of information that how you can help them. But I think that the movie is good start to speak about that.
Exactly. I think the most crucial point about this movie is that it shows the double standards and the hypocrisy. And I think we have reached a moment in history, especially with this, what's going on right now as we speak in Gaza, that human life is a human life, whoever the color or the religion or anything it is about. And I think it's just about spreading the consciousness that there must be one rule, that's a golden rule, that's a human life, all human lives are equal. I don't know what is to be done in this situation, but I'm taking it to the streets. I'm into trying to pressurize the governments to put pressures on any side that is trying to make another conflict, another war. I don't know if there's any other way to do it. I mean, we are in Portugal. This country had a strong revolution that people did not, complete peaceful revolution where people broke out to the streets and they made the change. And I think at the moment there is no other way.
I have one fun fact. We were 2 days ago, we were in Vatican because Pope gave us the prize for this movie, and for Polish people who were totally against this movie, mostly Catholics. So many people from our crew came there to show in Vatican ourselves. To have a proof that we are open for discussion. And it was a nice experience and a really interesting idea to have a prize from the Pope.
And well, there are organizations we can engage and work with them. In Portugal, there are many, and to welcome refugees. And so tonight there will be a person from the organization Humans Before Borders. So they mainly work in the Mediterranean, rescuing people that cross in those boats.
But what Agnieszka said in Vatican, that Polish Catholics are not Christian, that their behaving is really, I don't know how to say that, short, or they are not open for the most important Christian law, I don't know.
To turn the cheek.
Open for people, to help them.
What can I say about that? That's just true.
Okay, then thank you, Katarzyna, thank you, Nadim.
Thank you.
E obrigado a todos.